Tell me about the body of the comic.
No.
Perhaps we should start with the title.
It was dedicated to Andy Kaufmann, which I thought was this extraordinary comedian who I thought was like the best performance art at the time. Andy Kaufmann he did one of his routines was where he played a conga drum. I think these guys dying reminded me of my, were a little they scared me, and it was a kind of strange experience at that point. And I always thought that if I dedicated the piece to these people, it would like get me points in heaven or something like that. Like when I died and I got to the gate, they said, "Oh, you dedicated art to those people. You can come in. It's okay." One of the things about the piece that was important to me is that the piece died, and it came back to life, and it died, and it came back to life. I remember in my studio in the workshop area where I kept the tools and stuff like that, where there was a fluorescent light, and I remember whenever I plugged the fluorescent light in, I turned it on, it would go boom, and I thought if I put those fluorescent lights inside, it'll have this kind of awakening feeling. At the same time, it almost looks like distant thunder or something like that. So the way the piece shuts off, it shuts off pretty quickly. But when it starts up again, it has this kind of like awakening feeling. And the drums, it takes a while for the drums to crank up to full speed and things like that.
So destruction somehow, the idea of the possibility of destruction is built into the...
I wish I could have made it so, at one point we actually hooked up microphones to it and tried to have speakers. I wish I could make the whole room like shake when it happened, you know what I mean? But I also remember at one point it was one night, I think I was way too high, but we had hooked the piece up and it was running, and I remember looking at it and I thought, these three drums are probably what God looks like. He could die and go to heaven, there he is.